know where it's coming from within the community that's fed through that sewage network.
The good news is, Steve popped by earlier to pick up something. Little did he know he was going to help me to lift the shell off. So now I've got the shell off, I'm going to tip her up, and then I can start working on those bits that need doing on the underside.
So you literally have to identify what particular street that it was and test the sewage system if you wanted to get a really
now we can have a good look underneath.
Yeah, I think that
ooh, new metal. All good down here. Might feel like I need to put a couple of extra spots in there, but I know I can get through to get rid of some of this crap on here, and we can start cleaning up some of these edges so as we can get in and do a bit of welding there. So yeah, that's what we're up to next. It all needs a good clean. Look, it's gone a bit rusty since I did it. That was only a couple of weeks ago. Yep, so there we go. That's what we're going to do next. So you can see the access to the bottom is much easier now, so I've cleaning up this area because I want to attack this bit. This part here seems remarkably sound, so maybe I don't have to cut back too far into that. That metal all looks good. Even if I look right on the inside, it's only really this bottom edge, just in this corner where my finger is, that is actually the problem. The rest of it's okay. So I've got a little bit of trimming up to do here because there's a little rusty bit there. I need to trim that. I've made my CAD template and just cut this out of a bit of sheet steel I had lying around. So now we can bend that up so as we can slot it into place. This lip looks really good. I just need to dress it and straighten it up a little bit. So I've got the panel in the side. That's all in now. So this corner's all nicely sorted out. We're in reasonably good shape here. And then I've just bent up this piece that goes in here, which now needs to be connected into there. I'm just toying with the idea of breaking out the spot welder to see if that's the way to go on this. Just a matter of whether or not I've got the right angle to be able to get in there. So we'll find out. I'm going to try it. So we've got a couple of pieces ready to go in on the offside now. I've turned the shell over, as you can see. I've got some more work to do here, I've discovered. There's a little bit there that's not clever, that doesn't look too good. I think I can fabricate all of that though, reasonably easily. There was a hole in the boot floor, if you remember from early on. That was the only hole in the boot floor, so I'm going to sort that out in a minute. I've already started on my CAD for that. And then we can get this bit in. Again, as on the other side, this piece actually is very good, no problems with any of that, so I'm just going to make a section to go into it with a joddled edge on it, so it'll fit in nicely behind that. I have discovered there's a couple of holes here, which I wasn't really expecting, but there we go. So I'll have to fabricate something to go in there as well. I guess these bits just sort of clear the suspension. Show you. I think they just clear these bits on the suspension, the caps that go over the ends. I think that's all their purpose is, to just do that. So obviously there's some muck and stuff been carried up inside them. This will be the same side. Got some shiny in there. Pity the brake pipe doesn't look like that on the outside. Never mind. Anyway, I've no idea how to check whether or not this suspension is good or not, whether or not I need to strip this down or just clean it up. So if anyone's got any tips on what I should be checking for in the suspension area, there's loads of guff on here. Anyway, let me know. I've been kind of leaping ahead again, so I've done these sections now. So just like the other side, no great differences, you didn't miss much. So I just replaced that half. This panel is one piece, goes around here and up here. So this is one piece normally. This is all good stuff, so I've only replaced that part of it. I just need to go back in and grind some of this down. I found another little spot further down where there was some rot. I've got to finish that bit up as well today. I just paint everything overnight because you know you can get flash rusting so quickly, even in the summer. So yep, that bit's all done. Little patch in the boot floor. It was the only bit that was actually rotten. So my next mission is to sort this part out at the end. So let me just give you a quick explanation of what I'm going to do here and how I'm going to do it. So it's a slightly awkward shape. So before I go cutting anything out here, my approach has been get a piece of metal. There's a piece of metal. It's about the same gauge, and rather than cutting it out to size or anything like that, what I do is just take that sheet, which is probably about 6 inches square to start with, and I just hand form it over the top. So just press the sheet over it until I've got the curve running right, and then afterwards I then go about working out where the edges are supposed to be. This one folds over, so then I go about doing that, and then you end up with a patch that looks a bit like that. So it won't mean about flash rusting overnight. Let's clean that up. So then when I've got something that's about the right sort of shape, then as you can see here, I just mark where I'm going to cut it, warts and all, even when it's not straight, and then I can get into it. So my next job here is going to be to chop this out, chop this old rusty bit out, see what horrors lie beneath, and what might need to be repaired down there, and then we can get this final bit back on. But like I've said before, when I've done the other repairs, you know, it's the piece that you see that you've really got to try to make sure is an accurate fit, because if there's other bits underneath that aren't necessarily perfect, as long as it's good and strong, it doesn't matter that much. So let's get on with it. So here's what's beneath the outer skin. Apart from a bit of rot, and I've managed to drill through in a few places here to fix up some of that before we put it back together. This is just seam sealer that's stuffed in the corner, and I think that's probably where the rot started. And then there's a little sort of bracket bit stuck on the bottom here. I'm not quite sure what that does. It doesn't seem to be connected by anything other than this little bit of seam sealer here, so not sure what's happening there. Yeah, so now I think we can start cleaning this up and get into it. So things don't look quite so rosy. This bit is all rotten around here, so I think what I'm going to have to do is to cut across here. This is all sound. I'm going to cut across there, make a new piece to go into this corner, and then make a new piece that goes round to meet the boot floor here, which is a sort of triangular piece with a curve on it, curved return. They are always tricky to make. So anyway, we have a limited number of tools available to us, so we will make do and make this work. Getting stuck in. Oh yeah, sorry, I started drawing some, these are not the actual things that I'm going to cut out, but I just wanted to make sure that I recorded what the thing actually looks like, so I can put it back together properly. Thanks to Waitrose Fruit and Tangy. Alright, let's get stuck in. So, a little spot welding and drilling later, we have a hole. This is what we're going to have to repair before we can put on that nice little section I talked about earlier. That's the easy bit. So this is what came off. So this is the bit we're going to have to remake. There's actually two parts here. That's three parts if you include this bracket, which is quite a thick bit of metal, so it might clean up. So this is what we got now. So I've revised the plan, so it does, not that one, that one. So I've got to make a piece that looks a bit like that. That's the bit that goes in that plane. And then we have another piece that goes in along the top, which is essentially this bit. So that's the other bit that we've got to make. So there's a piece going that direction, and there's this piece that goes on the top here. Then we've got to add this bracket back in. I'm not sure what it does. Anyway, need to add the bracket back in. There's one on the other side, so it must have some purpose in life. I can't think what it is at the moment. So we're going to do all of that. Go and make some new stuff. It has been commented that I don't really show too much about how I'm making things, but you know, so I've tried to include a little bit more about how I'm doing this sort of stuff. I don't have a huge number of tools here. You know, what I'm trying to demonstrate is what's actually possible for anybody to be able to do in their garden with a limited number of tools. So tools include angle grinder, should have a guard on it, set of grips, spot weld drill on the end of drill, then a disc cutter, 1mm disc on it, Mr. Orange, hammers, cutting tools of various descriptions. These are nice little ones for going around corners. Things that I've collected over the years, stuff like this. This I acquired the other day from my mate Martin, who was having a bit of a clear out of his dad's old tools, and this was one of the tools amongst it. Brilliant little tool for cutting around corners. Apart from that, I've got a vise. Oh, my other useful tool, which I'll mention here, apart from the joddler for making those, making the edges up, and it's got a punch on the other end for making holes to spot weld through, is this one. This one's quite useful because you can grab bits of metal wherever they happen to be and flatten them off nicely. So where you've got a crinkly edge, you can just grab hold of it and it will manipulate it into a flat, which is obviously quite useful on a car. If it was just a panel I was trying to make, then I'd stick that in the vise and do it. But you know, that's basically it. Pretty basic set of tools. I haven't got metal folding machines or anything clever for cutting, so just the basics. Okay, let's crack on with making these things. So, made the first piece. Took about 15 or 20 minutes. This curve is all formed by hand. I just bent the metal in my hands. I think this is 0.8mm steel. So just bent it all to shape. Got the edge on that bit is a little sharper, so that's where this one came in handy. Right. So I did that bit with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of tacks in here because the next thing I've got to do is to make up the other piece of this, which you can barely make out, which is the piece that fits in around this corner here and makes up this whole bend. Oops, sorry. Makes up this bend here and fills in this gap here. So that's what I'm going to do now. So these are the parts made up. So hopefully you can see there's a bit of a gap there, but hopefully I can squeeze all of that up as I weld it into place. Yeah, it's a bit of a bugger making all of those. I haven't quite figured out what to do with this little bracket bit though. I'll worry about that afterwards, I think, as it goes on the top. And this is the finished job. So see where it meets there. That's all going to be covered anyway with stone chips, so I haven't spent too much, wasted any time on cleaning that up. And then we're going to want a little skim of filler over that part, and then yeah, we're done on that. So this is what we have with the parafan off. Came off quite easily. Literally just taken it off, so I haven't really explored in here too much. So this is sort of the parcel shelf bit. I cut through at the top here because I wasn't quite sure how it joined. I can start to see that now. So I might have to do a bit of cleaning up around here to make all of that work. and then we've got to clean up all down this strip and get into that a bit more so we can peel this, well, the remains of it off anyway. That's the next job. Moving to the front, so we've got to sort out this area with the dodgy bit of guttering. So I've got a new piece of guttering to go in somewhere, which is here. So I can get that bit in. So first is drill out those spots around there, all the way around this bit. It's called the parafan apparently. So I've drilled all of those out, so now it should just ping off with a bit of luck. You never know. So this is what we have with the parafan off. Came off quite easily. Literally just taken it off, so I haven't really explored in here too much. So this is sort of the parcel shelf bit. I cut through at the top here, so I wasn't quite sure how it joined. I can start to see that now. So I might have to do a bit of cleaning up around here to make all of that work. And then we've got to clean up all down this strip and get into that a bit more so we can peel this, well, the remains of it off anyway. That's the next job. Right then, so latest on this. So I've been going around and doing all the seam sealing. May not be able to tell that these seams are now sealed up all the way around with this wonderful grey stuff which gets everywhere. So I've been all the way around all of the joints, all the way around the car, putting lots of that stuff on everything, so that should stop the water from getting in. So that's what I've been doing. Then, oh yeah, a little bit of filling on some of the areas that need to be looked at around this windscreen. That's kind of as far as I've got. More to do! Cracking on with that now. One thing I just wanted to mention here, so when I was taking these parafan bits off, the edge of this is folded round as I've started doing here. So I'm just doing it with a body hammer. So I'm going to go round and I've started already, as you can see. I'm going to go round, peen all of that all the way over and dolly it as well. And then I can get some seam sealer on that joint. I think that's the last one then. I noticed that there's some sealer around this bit where the master cylinder goes on. I can probably do that with some gasket cement type stuff. So that's what I should probably do there. Okay, let's get on with banging. Well, good news. We're getting near the end of the welding. So rust fans, sorry, but there really isn't any more rust. So I'm just buttoning up the last bits. So we've got the Spot Welder out. So let me talk a bit about that. You can buy one of these for not huge amounts of money. And the great advantage of them is that the plane always goes over, right? Somebody get rid of that plane. Now leave it. So the great thing is that you've got some sets already on here. So this gives you, oh, it's heavy. This gives you how long you want the weld for, and the thickness of the metal that you're welding, and then that's alternating current or direct. I suppose you need alternating for aluminium or something, I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's what I did. So I bought one of those, and then went out and perhaps buy these, because that's the only way that you can actually get into the corners to actually affect spot welds. And then once you've set that up, and believe me, that's just pressing buttons. If it was more complicated than that, I wouldn't be able to do it. It does exert some pressure. What is it with aeroplanes today? I like lockdown. Lockdown was fun because we didn't get aeroplanes all the time. Right, and then it does exert some pressure. So you find the place that you want to put your spot weld, and then you press the lever, and that is it. No cleaning up afterwards, which is a major achievement in itself. So there you go, those are the sort of spots that you get. that's how it works. So I've got to go around all of the sill and get all of these spot welds in. That's my mission next. I've missed one on the end here because there's a bracket under there and I'm not sure if I can get to it. But that's what we've got to do, is get into all of that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I won't bore you with me going around doing that because it's not exciting to watch. It's so simple. Okay. So I'm going to go and do the seams at the bottom here, and then with the seams along here, there's a couple of bits around the front of the bulkhead that I've got to do. I haven't done yet. That's what I'm going to do right now. So anyway, that's the Spot Welder. So big thanks to my dad, Mike West, responsible for getting me into flat twins in the first place, I guess. He's helped me out with some of the money to buy this bit of kit, so that I can weld up his C3 when that goes rusty. Okay, let's get on.
Okay, we're going to get some stone chip on. I'm using this stuff, Red Brill stone chip protection on the air compressor. I'm going to whiz it over. Mess around with the air pressure to get the right kind of finish that you want. Want it a bit mottly. It's looking a bit like that. It looks something like it did when it came out of the factory. See how long this takes. A little bit more pressure, I think. Heavy. One side done. Do the bulkhead. 100-litre tank. I've only got one motor. Graph here. Low. You can never have too much on a bolt head.
Right, let's have a look. So, as you can see, we've got a reasonably even coverage. Probably do with a little bit more in some places. I've got another canister, but what I want to do is to do some of the bits on the inside as well with the same stuff. So what I'll probably do is give this a second coat, maybe slightly heavier and wetter, but then, you know, I've still got those bits like the inner wings to do and what have you, so I want to give those a bit of a coating as well. So some of the inside's going to need doing. So I think I need to let this dry for a little while. It shouldn't take too long because it's really hot. And then roll the car back over the other way so that I can make sure that I've got to all the other bits which I haven't managed to get to this time. Whew. Well, so in extremely hot weather, that was quite a tiring challenge. So hopefully you can see now that we've got stone chip on the inside. Right. Stone chipped and used shuts or underseal on the rear. Normally I'd leave these and I'd paint them green like the rest of the car, but you can't see these because of the wings cover, so might as well just do it black. Simples. So around this side, same. So we've done the black and floors all done up into the bulkhead, inside the bulkhead, and everything I could think of really. So it's been quite a long day, lots of prep to get this far, but we're done. That's it. So now we can get painting green basically. So next job's going to be to finish off doing all the prep on the top of the body. Will it ever end? One day.